by no means the way you're supposed to do it, but it works. Because, to be quite honest with you, whoa! I don't know if that's because it fell down there. No, it's not because it fell down there, dude. Bro, that's why you... Dude, look at this.
Clogged up. That's my problem.
Dude, I'm surprised your truck started. No, I'm being so serious. I'm not even joking. Look at that.
The holes are plugged up.
That is not because it didn't fall where anything was dirty. It fell
on top of these wires and stuff.
It fell on a wiring harness. Like, this is caked on there. That wouldn't have just happened.
Fuel contaminants and everything else. Probably dirt and everything.
Dude. When I pulled mine out for the first time, the entire thing was like that. I had none of this. Obviously, we're going to replace these rubber O-rings. That's the most important part of this, and cleaning these very, very thoroughly. Diesel fuel works very well with this. I think I got a little bit of fresh diesel fuel over there, but that's the best way to clean these is fresh diesel fuel. People are going to comment. They're going to be like, no, use grandma's piss. Fucking say something that's like no one's ever heard of before. But like I was saying, used to, I don't know if I got weak or what. I used to just be able to screw a couple. I don't know if it's because your truck has your injectors.
These are the original injectors. This is 300,000 mile motor. So they have never been messed with.
With new rubber O-rings, literally, one hand, I can just, I can get it. But trust me, guys, like, I'm not that strong, but, I ain't weak either. And I can't get them. I'm having to pop them a little bit with a hammer to get these injectors out. Oh, by the way, this is a separate video, you said, right?
Yeah.
So, I already mentioned the whole freaking flat head and hitting the threads. But the risk you take with that is messing up your threads on these injectors, which we all know the injector lines that are over there to the side, if the threads are even a little bit messed up, dude, look at this one. It's the same way. And I didn't drop this one either.
At least it doesn't have gunk on top of it.
Yeah, it doesn't have gunk in the tip of it. But anyway, like I was saying, these threads are so sensitive. They have to be perfect. Just like these injectors, these new injectors we put in, I already mentioned, but use fresh gloves every time. And people are going to comment, by the way, that you should get new connecting tubes, and tell them that if they're willing to pay for them, you'll gladly accept them. Like, people will always...
YouTube guys are savage, bro.
They are like, nah, man, you spent $700 on injectors, but you can't spend, I think it's like a couple hundred on connecting tubes. And also they're going to comment, they're going to be like, how's that trick going to work on the 6-cylinder? I do not know. We'll find out. Torque Tool is a really good guy. I've actually had the honor to talk to the, I guess you would call CEO or owner of the company. Really cool guy. Really down-to-earth dude over at Torque Tools, man. Like, small companies, I like to support. Whack it with this hammer. Rubber mallet, whatever you want to call it. I'm starting to get ready for all these YouTube comments. They've freaking been pretty rough lately. Kids started school and they just got their game like back squared away. They're just like, all right, we started kindergarten. We got your mama jokes all over again and all sorts of stuff. And that's how we got the 6th one, boys. A little bit of MAN.
That one look bad?
Oh, they're starting to look better as it goes.
That's the cleanest one so far.
But still, it shouldn't have any,
it shouldn't have any of that
build up. Like, you're gonna have to really, like, with a soft cloth, obviously, scrub it with like a microfiber towel with diesel fuel. You grabbing that injector puller? This one's gonna be the same way probably, since this is the originals. Pretty much this is the Torque Tool number. You probably already put it up on the screen, but it's CIP040 by Torque Tools. You can just go on their website, and I believe a couple of the diesel websites sell them as well. Their injectors don't look too bad. Alright guys, so we're on our 6th and final injector. We decided to do the 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th so that we can show you the second one, because we'll probably get a better angle on that one. But we're just going to walk you through a quick down and dirty. Obviously, clean gloves. I actually changed gloves 2 or 3 times throughout this job because you got to be so careful with these injectors and the connecting tubes as well. Just as careful with the connecting tubes as these injectors. I actually keep them in the bag the entire time, sealed until I'm like to that injector. Obviously, the injector nozzle cover is going to stay on there the entire time. Then we're going to get to our copper O-ring, which is next. Talk about that for a second. Again, this is the down and dirty. I can go so much more in depth on these things. I'm not going to cover everything, but your copper O-ring, my brother is going to grab some Vaseline real quick. He's recording this. Even the copper O-rings, you still want to be real careful not to get any sort of contaminants on it. A little bit of Vaseline is not going to hurt. Obviously, you just don't want any Vaseline on that nozzle. So that's where new gloves come into play, because you can just kind of wipe that injector nozzle off. And also, I got a fresh microfiber towel right here that I've been using. If, you know, say I think I have anything like a contaminant on my hand, I just wipe it down. Some people will say I'm being overcautious, but you'd rather do it right the first time than have a misfire and be like, oh my God, do I think I got a contaminant in the injector line or something like that, or the connector tube. All right, next thing is going to be get a little bit of oil on your hands. You just go right in here, put a little oil on that fresh rubber O-ring. Doesn't take too much. That's fine. That's where my fresh from the Dollar General microfiber towel comes in. And then obviously, this is common sense. You're going to point the hole towards the open end where the connector tube goes in. It's going to be at an angle. You're going to have to angle it up where your freaking injector, I call it a bridge hold down. You're going to angle it to where it's going to, because that has a little ledge in the middle of it, and it rides in the center of your injector to hold it down. I call it like a bridge hold down. I really don't know what it's called, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And then literally you just give it a little bit of pressure and you'll hear it pop, just like that. Now you know it's in place. You want to make sure you hear that definite pop, because if you don't, then it's not seated properly. And then now you can make your minor adjustments. Make sure it's lined up best as possible to this. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and hand tighten on my bridges on all 6 cylinders. Then I'm going to put the connector tubes with the new rubber O-rings on it. Again, put a little bit of oil on those fresh O-rings on the connector tubes that we just cleaned in diesel fuel, by the way, and they look a lot better. So now that we got the freshly cleaned connector tubes, we're gonna put the bridge on there, finger tight, put the connector tubes in there, and then once we know we got the connector tubes pushed in, it makes the same kind of popping noise. Then we know it's seated properly. We got popping noise, good popping noise here, good popping noise here, and again the bridge is already on there, so we know it's pretty much aligned before we even put the freaking connector tube in there. And then we're gonna get our spec, which I think it's like something simple like 9 foot-pounds or something, or 89 inch-pounds. It's been a while since I've done it. I'm actually gonna refer to my own personal video on this to get the actual specs, but I think it's like 89 inch-pounds. We got the smaller torque wrench out here. We got the bigger torque wrench for the 125 foot-pound injection pump that we have to do that I think it's like a 22 millimeter nut or something. I'm getting sidetracked, but we're going to do that real quick and then check back up with you here in a minute.
And just a quick side note, we do have everything separated per each cylinder. We have the rocker arms, injectors, and connecting tubes. And right now we're also going to be doing the valve latch adjustment as well while we have it all opened up.
Alright guys, we're working on our rocker arms now. Obviously we took the exhaust side rocker arms off, laid them out in a row, my brother just told you about, in the same order that they came out in, because you want to keep every cylinder. It's what would you call it? It's organic, I guess, cylinder. You want to keep them the same. So 27 foot-pounds is the spec on these things. Your little arm right here, the longer side, goes towards the cab, and the circular side or smaller size hole goes towards the exhaust fan. You just place it right there on it. You line it up. It should just drop in just like that. If you didn't feel it drop in, then it probably isn't seated right. And then of course, just like any other job, you're just gonna hand tighten this bolt first, just to make sure the threads are lined up properly. You don't want to just go ahead and put a ratchet or a torque wrench on it, because you could mess up your threads a little bit. Like this one right now, for instance, I can already feel with my fingers that it just necessarily isn't sitting right for whatever reason. We did use the air gun. We have our pneumatic tools out here blowing the oil out because you can't compress a liquid. That's another thing, you guys. Just like head studs, you know, I always get sidetracked when doing this kind of stuff. But just like head studs, you know, you want to blow out the oils, things like that, because you can't compress a liquid, and you can either break off a bolt. I'm not saying you would break a head stud, but just like a smaller bolt like this, you can break one off. So it's one of those small things you want to pay attention to. But we'll get this in. Again, it's giving me kind of an issue, so I'm gonna focus on this, and then we'll catch up with you guys here in a minute.
Alright, I'm gonna hit it again.
Alright.
I smell something burning. You smell that?
Yeah, you may smell some shit burning. That's probably the firewall.